Okay, very good morning, guys. Fine. So, yeah, last day we just been talking about, started the discussion with NT framework. And in that, I said you there are three development approaches. What are the three? DB first, code first, model first. What is DB first? The name itself is telling you what is it? We have a database first, and based on the database, we are just going to generate all the domain classes. All the domain classes means two things will come for you. What are the two things? Context. Domain classes means context plus entities. Context is a very important class. Remember that. Okay. And the second one is entities. Next, code first. What is code first? In code first, we write all the domain classes first. Means we define a context class on our own. See, in linked SQL, remember, context class is predefined. Data context, MVC data context, that is already defined for you. We will define the domain classes on our own. We define, means context, model, everything we define on our own. We only write the connection string in the config. See, in link, we did not write anything. When you drag and drop, it has written everything for you. Yes or not? We only focused on the UI designing part, that's all. Defining all the coding context domain classes are all defined by link. In code first, you need to write all these things. And NT framework will create the database, tables, everything will be created. Lastly, third option, model first. What in model first? In model first, we don't have domain classes, we don't have database. We are provided with a visual designer. And using the designer, we are going to design the domain classes. We are going to design the domain classes. And NT framework will generate the domain classes, and NT framework will generate the database also. Everything will be done by the NT framework. And this is not a quite good approach to use, and industry doesn't support or suggest using that. So first preference to code first, second preference to DB first. Okay. Let's start with DB first. We'll start with DB first. I don't require to give any explanation for DB first here. DB first is exactly same as your link to SQL. In link to SQL, we used a OR designer. What is the name of the OR designer? We have used the ORM tool. What is the name? OR designer. And here we are going to use one more, a different one called as, here we are just going to use a different tool here called as EDM, Entity Data Model. Entity Data Model is the tool what we are going to use in our applications. Are you clear? Fine. Let us try to understand how to just use the NT framework DB first approach. So we are going to start with the DB first approach, the database first approach. Okay, how do you do the database first approach? We'll see. Have a look. Here, DB first, basically in link to SQL, Org designer generated all the domain classes, then we created controllers, DAL class, all the things now. We have scaffolding option here. Scaffolding will generate them also for you. Means no need to write even a single line of code here, just watch it. By the time I complete my configurations all, controllers, models, views, everything will be ready. Are you clear? Watch. Let's create a new project. Only configuration again. Okay. Concentrate carefully. Asp.NET web application. I'm giving a name called MVC with NT framework DB first. Okay. The first project. MVC with EF NT framework. And which approach we are using? DB first. So I named the DBF1 first project. I'm saving in our own folder, MVC7. Click on the create button. MVC project. Create. Okay. What next? The next thing is You open a blank project now, nothing is there, no config, no web, sorry, no connection string in the web.config, nothing. We don't have anything at all. Blank project we opened freshly. Now let us go for using the EDM tool, just like we used link to SQL. What is that? OAuth Designer. Here we are going to use a different tool, ADO.NET Entity Framework. We call it as the EDM tool. Understood? Okay. Right click on the models folder, add, new item, select data in the left hand side, concentrate guys. This is what you have used earlier, right? ADO.NET Entity Data Model, that is something called EDM, that is the EDM tool, ADO.NET EDM. So this is a project item for creating an ADO.NET Entity Data Model. This is the one what we require to use. Give a name for it, any name, no issue. Any name, no issue. But in link to SQL, I said I prefer using database name, but you have no restriction like this. Whatever name you want to give, you can just give. I'm giving the name as test EF. Sir, in link to SQL, can't you give any name? You can give any name. But whatever name you give here, that will be a prefix for your data context. Whatever name you give here, that will be a prefix for your data context. So for the data context class, that will become a prefix now. So to understand which database you are working with, I suggested you give a name called as database name. That's not mandatory. But here, whatever name I give, compulsory the data context prefix will have database name. Did you catch my point? There, in link to SQL, what name you give for the OAuth Designer, same name will be the prefix for the data context. If you give test, the name will be test data context. But when you come to NT framework, give any name here, no problem. But database name only will be the prefix for the data context. So that's why I'm telling you, whatever name you want to give it, no problem at all. Click on the add button. Yeah, it will show you the options for you. What do you want to use? DB first, or this is EF designer model. This is nothing but model first. Nothing but the model first. These two are minor difference. We'll talk about them, and this is a code first. Okay, like this, we just have the different options. Yeah, these two are code first. I'm sorry. These two are code first. Actually, this is useless option, the last one. Why means code first from database means database is present, again we write the code. Both will be done. Database also will create, and also domain classes also will define. Both we do. Okay, that's way it is not suggested. So this is the DB first approach, guys. This is model first approach, and this is the code first approach. What do you want to use? We want to start with DB first. So EF designer from database. So it creates a model in the EF designer based on an existing database. You can choose the database connection, settings for the model, and database objects to include in the model. The classes, the classes your application will interact with are generated by the model. It will generate all the things for you. Okay, that is the option what we require to use. Click on the next button. This is a wizard here. Basically, it's a wizard. Now, in this wizard, what you require to do now is which data connection should your application use the connected to the database. You require to specify the connection details. Actually, NT framework as a behavior. What is behavior? Whatever databases are configured under the OAuth Designer, generally, whatever databases are configured under the OAuth Designer, it will immediately show you the list of all the databases here. Are you getting me? I configured a database called CSDB in my earlier classes, so that is coming. We don't want this. If you don't have anything there, just a second. Cancel. Open the Server Explorer. Guys, watch it. Already configured here. So second one is Oracle. Oracle won't come there. What will come? SQL will come. So your CSDB database is already configured now. So this one database already configured now. That's why this name will automatically come there. Suppose 10 databases are configured here, all the 10 will come there. I don't have any database configurations here. Right click, delete. No database configurations at all. Okay. Now let us again try. Right click, add, new item, ADV.NET NT model. I'm giving the name as a test EF, test NT framework, and selecting EF designer from database. Now see, no database is loaded. Are you clear? What databases are configured? That will come here. So no database is loaded, what to do? New connection button. Click on the new connection, and once you click on the new connection, you know this window. It is the same window what we are using every day will open. You can start your configuration now. What's the data? What is the server name? Server. Authentication is SQL authentication. User ID SA. Password 123. Save my password and choose your database. What's your database? MVC DB. Once go for test connection and click on the OK button. Got it. Now it will ask you a question. Shall I write this connection string in the config file or not? Shall I write the connection string in the config file? Yeah, write me the connection string. So when you write the connection string in the config file, how do you write key value combination? A key and a value, correct? Okay. Now select yes, and now it will write the connection string in the config file and is a key name. This is the key name what it uses. What is the name it uses? Are your database name entities? Your database name entities. Two things here. This is your key name and this is your data context name also. Data context class name is that only. I already said you one thing, remember? Data context class will automatically have the database name as a prefix. Here, whatever name you give, database name will be the prefix. This name is two things. One is your key name in the config, plus your context class name is also the same one. Context is also same only. Okay? So click on the next button. Now it will ask you, which version of the NT framework do you want to use? Latest 6.x. The latest I said you 6.4.4 is the latest version. Okay. Next, click on the next button. And now when you click on the next button, guys, all of you carefully, when you click on the next button, when you click on the next button, it will immediately connect to database and load all the details from the database. All the stored procedures you have in the database, plus all the tables you created in the database. Everything. Are you clear? Okay, all are generated to you automatically. Let me check what database, what tables I chose. I don't remember. Oh, I selected department and employee tables. I selected the department and employee tables. Okay. Department table, employee table. Okay. So these are our entities. So what is the table in our application? Departments, employees. Already explained you in the link. Same pattern, guys. What is the name? Departments, employees. Click on finish button. When you click on the finish button, this will generate you the domain classes, everything it will generate for you. Watch. Nothing. It's just giving a security warning. Click on the OK button. That's all. Yeah. Guys, have a look. Your department table, employee table, and all the relationship is also shown here. The relationship between the two tables. One advanced feature what you find here is, have a look on that carefully. You have the two tables coming up. There you have the department properties. Here you have the employee properties. All are configured. Additionally, you have a new thing called as navigation properties. Additionally, you'll be finding something new called navigation properties. What are these navigation properties? As the name indicates, these are really used for navigating from one table to another table. Every department is associated with a set of employees, correct? Every employee is associated with a department or set of departments. Louder. Every employee is associated with a department, and every department is associated with set of employees, correct? Watch it. In the departments, you'll have a property with the name called employees. This property will refer to the employees of each department now. In 10, who are the employees? In 20, who are the employees? In 30, who are the employees? Same way here you see, the property name is a department. Understand, this is pure grammatical thing you require to just understand. Department, singular. Here, employees, plural. Every department is associated with a set of employees. Every employee is associated with a department. So this particular department refers to the department in the department table. Every employee will be having a department. So what is the need of this navigation property, sir? By using these navigation properties, you can fetch the data from the two tables without writing a join. You can fetch the data from the two tables without writing a join. Remember, how did I write the join statement day before yesterday? Day before yesterday, we have written a join statement to fetch the data from the two tables. Do you remember? How did we write? From EMPE, join, sorry guys, employee, join, department D. Okay, next, on E dot DID equals D dot DID, E dot DID equals D dot DID. Afterwards, select new of, and then E dot employee ID, E dot employee name, E dot job, E dot salary, E dot status, okay, T dot department ID, T dot department name, T dot location. I'm writing a query like this using a join to get the data from the two tables. From employee, join. Sorry guys, we are writing wrong. From E in DC dot employees, join D in DC dot, sorry, I'm writing a SQL query. Yeah, this is what. From E in DC dot employees, join D in DC dot departments on E dot department ID equals D dot department ID, select new of and the columns. Okay. Now, in NT framework, how do you get the data from the two tables? You know, watch. From E in DC dot employees, select new of. So no need to join, no need. Watch it carefully. E dot employee ID, E dot employee name, E dot job, E dot salary, E dot status, E dot department ID. So all these are going to fetch the data from which table? Employee table, correct? But you want the data corresponding data from the department table also now. I want the corresponding data from the department table also. Okay, look at this, comma, E dot department dot department name, E dot department dot location. You'll have a doubt here. So what is this E dot department? Array, that's my navigation property name here. See, I got E dot EID, E dot name, E dot job, E dot salary, E dot TID, E dot status, E dot department. But this department refers to the department table. See, click on this department once, just select it. When you select it, immediately it's loading something. Hold on. What's it doing? Saving auto recovery information. Hold on guys, it is doing something in the background. Okay, watch. When you select this property, immediately notice it. The department ID here, the department ID here are highlighted to tell there is a relationship between the two tables now. See, again the selection went up. See, when I select this, immediately the employee's property here, the department property here, the DID here, the DID here will be highlighted. See, to tell all these are connected to each other. So now you are using this department, and with this department you are navigating to the department table and picking the D name and picking the location. So if you want to fetch the data from the two tables, this is how we write in link to SQL. This is how we write in link to entities or ADO.NET entity framework. No need to use the joins at all. You can just take the help of the navigation properties. We can take the help of the navigation properties there, and those navigation properties will help you in fetching the data from your tables. So that is the need of the navigation properties. Tomorrow, I want to know the employees in this department. I can use the navigation property and get it. Same way, I want to get the department associated with these employees. I can use the navigation properties and get it. Is my point clearer? Okay, that's what. Because of these navigation properties, you even don't require to write a class combining both the two properties. Last day we done, remember, EMP-DEPT. You defined EMP-DEPT class combining up both the two things now. Those classes are not required now. Those classes are not required. Okay, we'll see in detail. Yeah. Next. What next? Context and the model class are generated for you automatically. Context and model classes are generated for you automatically. Remember context class now? What is the name of the context class in linked to SQL? MVCDB data context. Correct? Inheriting from MVCDB data context, inheriting from data context only, system.data.link.data context. That's a predefined class. So guys, observe. This is linked to SQL. This is entity framework or linked to, both are same here. Link to entities or entity framework. Both are going to be one and the same. Yeah. Now, in link to SQL, what we find? We find the class called as MVCDB data context, and this class inherits from data context. This is predefined class here. Don't forget which namespace. System.data.link.data context. Now, when you come to the entity framework, the name of the class is MVCDB entities. The name, already I said you the context class name, so I shown you MVCDB entities, inheriting from system.data.entity.db context. The name got changed, guys. The name is not data context, the name is DB context. From now onwards, it is DB context. That's why I'm telling you context class, that's all. I only said you context, I did not say you data context. Context class. The context class name is data context in linked to SQL. The context class name is DB context here. Are you clearer? And next, the model class names are, entity class names are same only here. What are the entity class names? Department and employee. Now also same. Here also no difference. Department and employee. And next, you remember the two properties to refer the table. These are entities, not the tables. What refers to the tables? Departments, employees. Departments and employees refers to your tables, correct? Yes or not? So departments is which type? Table of department, not departments. Table of department. Here, louder. Table of employee. Table of employee. Now also, your property name is departments only, but the difference is it's not a table, guys. It is a DB set. DB set of department, and the second one is employees. And what is the type? DB set of employee. Sir, what is the table DB set? I don't know all these things. No need to know. Called to list. That's all. Array, that is DB set, that is table, none of your business. You directly have a method. What is the method? To list. It will convert into list. And all of you are familiar with a list and you know how to work with a list. I don't require to give you explanation for you working with the list to you. Simply you can convert up into list. So I'm telling you originally what it takes, but you just require to decide now what is it. Yeah, yesterday I remember someone asked this particular question. So what is the difference between DB context and DB set? DB context is equivalent to data context here. DB set is equivalent to table. Someone online asked this question. Oh, I don't know who is that. I said I'll tell you tomorrow. Yeah, that, for him I'm telling you. So DB context is equivalent to our data context class. This is connection. And what is DB set? DB set is a collection. DB set is a collection equivalent to the list or the table what we just have. That's it. That is the difference between DB context and the DB set classes. Are you clearer? So this is all about link to SQL. This is all about link to entities or entity framework. So what is our class name? MVCDB entities. Okay. And these are same here. Department employee are same. No changes here. Next, departments, employees, property names are same, but types are changed. Here the type is which type? Table type, and here it is DB set type. It is DB set. A DB set is nothing but a collection, and you don't require to learn how to work with a DB set at all. It is as simple. Simply what you do? Call to list. It will convert up into list, and once it converts into list, you people know how to access the values of a list just by using the index positions. You can pick each record from a list. Okay. And one thing is you can write a query on a table. You can write a query on a DB set. Syntax is same. No difference. How did you write queries on the table? You can write now the queries on the DB set now. See, for example, here in the link to SQL query, E in DC.employees. E in DC.employees, you are referring to table. Here, E in DC.employees, you are referring to DB set. Did you catch my point? The first one you are referring to table. Second one you are referring to DB set, not the table. Okay? Okay, fine. Yeah, these are the differences. Now let me show you all these things to you. Guys, observe it. First, the first thing, this is your, look at this all of you. This is your test ef.edmx is the EDMX. Oh, I did not tell you now. The extension is not DBML. The extension is EDMX. I forgot to tell you. The extension is EDMX. DBML stands for Database Markup Language. Database Markup Language. EDMX stands for Entity Data Model Extension. Entity Data Model Extension. That is the full form of EDMX. Where DBML stands for Database Markup Language. Okay now? So under this, you'll be finding up multiple files here. The first one, testdf.context.tt, you'll find a file here. Expand it. Under that, you'll find testdf.context.cs. Expand it. This is your context class. This is your context class. Come on, let us open the file and see it. Look guys. Parent is DB context. Namespace, already said you. I'll tell you a few things. The coding here will be very simple compared with your link to SQL. Watch it carefully. There we have data context, here DB context. And there you see, we define 4 constructors. After dragging drop the first table, it will define a default constructor. Nothing like that here. Straight away, there is a default constructor. Straight away, there is a default constructor. Are you clear? So what is this? You remember? See, generally, you already learnt in the inheritance classes. Whenever the child class instance is created, it will go and call the parent class constructor, rule number 1 of inheritance. And the rule number 6 of inheritance we learned. What is it? Child class constructor will implicitly call the parent class constructor provided the parent class constructor is a default. But if the parent class constructor is parameterized, it cannot call. We need to call it by using the base keyword and pass the required parameter values. I already shown all these things in the inheritance classes to you. The 6th rule of inheritance. If the parent class constructor is parameterized, child class cannot call it. It is whose responsibility? Developer responsibility to call by using base keyword and pass the required value. So actually, this class constructor is going and calling the DB context class constructor. The DB context class constructor is not a default constructor. It is a parameterized constructor. What it takes a string as a parameter. So I'm calling it now base of and calling this now. And passing the string. What is this, sir? That is nothing but the name of your connection string. Class name, already I said you, your class name and connection string name both are same only I said you now. And the name what you're passing here is nothing but the name of the connection string. And if you want to go and verify in the web.config file, you find a connection string with a name called MVCDB entities. Let me show you. Web.config. Outlining, collapsing is not available. Okay, just a second. Yeah, connection strings. Noticed it? MVCDB entities. And it is pointing to a database. Provider name, yeah, connection string. Data sources, server. Initial catalog means database. Database or initial catalog. That is MVCDB. And you will find user ID, password, and all the details. Password is 123. User ID is yes. Okay, like this, you'll be finding up all the information inside of it. It writes some. It's also going to write some configurations for NT framework also, like what provider has to be used. System.data.SQL client. It'll write some information. That's none of our business. Just concentrate on this one. This is the name. Is the point clearer? And that is what exactly it is passing here. I'm not doing it. It is passing here. Okay, na? And only one constructor here, no confusions at all. There is one method also. What is the method name? On model creating. We'll discuss what is the use of the method, but understand it's an override method. Override method means? The method is override means what is the meaning? The method is a method is declared virtual. Yeah, tomorrow if you ask your NPUs, what you'll answer? Oh, you're putting blank faces. The method is declared virtual in the parent. Override here means the method is either declared virtual in the parent or abstract in the parent. You cannot tell virtual also. What you should tell? This method is either declared as virtual or abstract in the parent. How do I know? Go to the parent class and verify. We can't tell that. No one can tell that. Is it virtual or abstract? No one can answer this question. How to there? Go to parent class and refer and find out whether the method is virtual or the method is abstract. Because for virtual and abstract here we use the override keyword only. So no one can tell this method is virtual or no one can tell that method is abstract. Is the point clear? Be confident here. You answer something whispering in the mouth. The sound won't come out from the mouth. What will you go and answer in interviews? I don't understand. Be confident first. Yeah. And next, the two properties. Departments, employees. What type? DB set. DB set. DB set of department, DB set of employee. DB set of department and DB set of employee. Are you clearer or not? Simple code. Now, open your link to SQL data context class and put side by side and check. You lot of constructors there, a lot of nonsense will be there. Your simple code. That's all. Nothing will be there. Very simple. One constructor, and this is not mandatory. What is the use of that? I'll tell you. We talk about it. Ignore it. Then what we have? We have a constructor and DB set. That's all. Nothing will be more than this. And in link to SQL, it will write all classes in one file only. It will write all classes in one file only. Context class, employee class, department class, all are in one file. But here very clear. Every class is in separate files. See, when we learned C#, we maximum tried to write each class in a separate file. Only in few scenarios, I define multiple classes in one file. Otherwise, mostly what I do is, I always write each class in a separate file to get a clarity, because tomorrow some thousands of lines of code you write everything in one file will be confusing. So better what you do? Separate files we write the code. Are you getting me? We write the code in separate files basically. So here also it follows the same pattern. It is just this MVCDB context class is separate. Now what about our model classes? Watch it. Now come below. You'll find another file, testdf.tt. Expand it. Here are your model classes. Department class, employee class. So now open the department class and you'll find the department properties. This also I'm telling you, open your link to SQL department class and see how much coding is there. Check it out. Not only 3 properties, you will have 3 fields, array private fields, lot of code you will find there. And inside the property also get set a lot of code you will find. But here very simple, automatic properties are used of. No logic at all. Straight away, public int did get set. Public string dname get set. Okay, you want to compare it? I'll open you the link to SQL project. See. Open the designer.cs file. See, first, this is your class inheriting from data context. There DB context, and there it did not write all this nonsense also. You know, this like simply DB context, that's all. And here 5 constructors will find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There only one constructor. And here the 2 properties here, department and employees, fine. Now department class. See the whole code in the department class, all of you. This is the whole code what is present in the department class. Just 3 properties, but see, it is writing a lot of code. Next comes employee class. This is the whole code in the employee class. But you don't find this much nonsense there? Very clean, simple, easy. Anytime, one time you look at it, easy, understand. Nothing is there. Very simple code. First, context class. In context class, inheriting from DB context, 1 constructor, 1 virtual method, overridden method, and 2 properties. Next, come to department class. See there, this is the department class, 3 properties. Very simple code. Same we go to employee class. Means they tried to minimize the code. They tried to minimize the code. And all of you carefully observe. Employee. Employee has a navigation property called department, right? See that, department. Department is which type? Department type. Department is which type? Department type. Now department has a property called employees. Employees is which type? List of employee type. Remember, collection. It's a collection. Scalar is it scalar property or list property? List property. But here, scalar, singular value. But here, collection. Remember all these things, because in code first, you need to do all these things now. That's why I'm pointing each and everything and showing you. In code first, you only should do each and every of this particular thing. Entity framework won't do. Code first means we need to write. We need to write the context class. Understood how to write the context class? Public class, class name, column, DB context. Second step, define a constructor, call the parent class constructor. Define a constructor and call the parent class constructor. Third step, define the DB set properties referring to the collections. If two tables are the departments, employees, otherwise students, otherwise customers, whatever is your entity. Next one, model classes you require to define. What properties are present? What attributes you are thinking for your entity? Define those properties there. If no relationships are there, no navigation properties required. If relationships are there, navigation properties are required. Are you clear? I'm taking student table here, no relationship. The navigation properties won't be there at all. Understood? I'm taking department and employee, relations are there. Are you clearer or not? I have two tables like a category table and a products table. Category, products. Categories means every product should come under some category here. Every product should come under some category. Thumbs up. It comes under category soft drinks. Limca, Fanta, so many are there. All these are soft drinks. Category soft drinks. Under the products. Now you can parent-child relationship. What is the parent here? Categories. Categories. What is the child here? Product. Just like department, here categories. Employee, product. Now then you require to define the navigation properties. In categories, what you require to define? Every category is associated with multiple products. So collection property. Every product comes under one category. So scalar property. Like this, we will analyze all these particular things. But just remember, these are the things what you require to do manually when you go for the code first. Are you clear with all the code generated now? Yes or not? All the code is generated. Now, you can start defining your controller, action methods, views and all. You can do it. Or you can also use scaffolding to do all this work to you. You can also use scaffolding to do all this work to you. How, sir? How can I use scaffolding to perform all these activities now? Okay, let's try to understand. Watch it. First, what you'll do is build your project once. You know how to build now? Right click on the project and select the option. Wait, build your project. The first example, this one, I am going to use a scaffolding and generate here. Next, one more example we'll try, then we'll write manual code. Okay. So, compile. Yeah, project compile. Now, what you will do now is right click on the controllers. Add controller. You know this option? Till now, you used only this option, correct? We have two more options. MVC5 controller with read-write actions. If you tell the model class, it will generate you the views for inserting, updating and deleting. It will generate the views. If you select this option, along with the database coding only, it will generate of all the things. But here database code won't come. Only views will come. You require to write your own database code. If you use this, it will also go for database coding also. I'm selecting the option MVC5 controller with views using NT framework. See, an MVC controller with actions and rather views to create, read, update, delete and list. Array 5, remember 5? List. So, sorry. Read means all. Sorry, single. List means all. Create means insert. Update means update. Delete means delete. From an NT framework, data context. Using the data context, it will generate all the things to you. Select that option. Click on the add button. Now it will ask you, okay, fine. It won't ask you the view names or anything. It will ask you, tell me the class name, tell me the context name. I'll take care of the rest of the things. Which class you want? I want for employee. I want for employee. Okay, then select employee. If you want department, select department. I want for the employee. Tell the data context class name. MVCDB entities. Data context class name. Okay. Just click on the add button. NT framework will do everything to you. You just check it out. Controller class, action methods, views will be generated. But here guys, it will generate a view for a delete also. Why for delete? Nothing here. How did we delete? When we click on the delete, we are asking a confirmation. Are you sure of deleting the record? If the user says, okay, we are deleting off. But here what happens is when you click on the delete, a view will open. Here it will ask you, do you want to delete it? Yes, we'll delete the record. Understood? Means view launcher means two methods will come. For delete, you are writing one method only, do you remember? But here two methods will come. One get method, post method. Get will launch the view, post will delete the record. Okay. So now this is the employee controller. And now guys, observe it. It is creating the instance of the entities class. You created the instance of the context class. Context class name is entities only now. Okay. And it started writing up all the things to you. db.employees will fetch all the employees. db.employees.find will fetch you single record. And this is a code for insert, get view, insert, post view is a post action. Okay. See, just like you called a method call insert on submit, the names are simplified now. Just like you called a method insert on submit, the method name is add. You call submit changes, the method name is save changes. So hold on a minute, we'll list out here all that one. What are the methods, guys? The first method, insert on submit, correct? The insert on submit method now is add. Simple name here, simplified, add. Okay. And we got a method called delete on submit, correct? The delete on submit now is remove, I remember. Just let me check it out, I forgot here. I think it is remove only. Yes, remove. Remove is the name of the method. Okay. Next, submit changes. Submit changes method name is now process did not change, guys. Call the different methods. Process is same. Just like you called insert on submit, now call add. Just like you call submit changes, now call save changes. Which one is descriptive? Submit changes or save changes? Which one is descriptive? Submit changes or save changes? Save changes, not submit changes. Save changes. I'm saving the changes. Insert on submit, add. We are calling pure object oriented programming. Then why are you using the word insert again? When you call pure object, add. Create an object, add it to the table. So add method. Same way, delete on submit. Simple name, remove. That is simple English. What they have used. Okay. And these four method names did not change. What? First or default, single or default. They are same. No changes to them. No changes to them. Okay. So like this, it is just going to define all the code for you. Can I start running? Yeah, you can. You can start running the code. Come on, let's try. I will look. What's the controller? Employee. What's the controller? Employee. The default action method is always index, right? Employees. Employees. I just forgot to change the name there. Yeah, we get an option there to change the name. I did not change the name. So it has taken the name as employees. I forgot to do that. Employees. So do we have an index method? Let us see. If index method is there, it will come. Otherwise, error will come. Yeah, guys. Our display employees. We defined a method called display employees now. The method name is index now. Check it out. I said you this particular point you already name it as index so that you don't require to just the first method should always be showing all the employees. So the name is index here. So because the name is index, see now, it's going to show you all the values. And this is for creating a new. Click on the new, this will open here. We added in the bottom, it add on the top. See, name, job, salary, status, department name, edit, details, delete it. Details is nothing but view. Click on this. They are generated now. You may not have the same look how we can for. We have just written all the code for designing and all. It was just giving in Unity's bootstrap templates and all, and we need to modify the things. We can modify. Okay. Again, This is equivalent to our cancel. We also put a back to display all, display customers, same back to list. You can even click on edit from here and edit. We did not do that, but here it is giving an option for edit also. And I can click on edit. When I click on edit, see there. And see the drop down listing all the values. Okay, back to list. If I click on create new, asking for all the details. See, this is the care what we have taken. What is that? Default is marketing coming up, but we don't want default marketing. We just write on the code as select department. When we write, we have more control. That's what. But NT framework is writing all and giving to you back to list. And here delete. When I click on the delete, guys, watch it. Delete also will launch a view and asking you, are you sure you want to delete this? Asking a question. If I click delete, it will delete. Otherwise, cancel. Back to list is cancel. All views are generated to you. You can check it out. So we used to create 4 views. What are the 4 views? Display all, display one, insert, add, edit. With delete we never created 4 views, but here it created 5 views. So delete also created views. Go and observe. Open the Solution Explorer. Go to the views folder. Check it out. Display employees. Okay, na? This one, display employee. This one, edit employee. This one, add employee. This one, delete employee. Names are different, that's all, but it has created all the things to you and everything is ready for you to start using. So that's what exactly what happens to you. And here it created a DB context class to you. And that DB context class is responsible for establishing the connections. Already, I explained about context class. Now also it is same. These are your domain classes and this is your database. The communication between the two is done by DB context. We can use it for querying, change tracking, persisting, relationship management, caching, transactions, object materialization. I said you, I'll show you all these particular things. Don't worry. Maximum will try understanding each and every of this particular feature. Okay. For everything who is responsible, the DB context class. So I just used the scaffolding and for you to understand, I printed the code also what it generates to you. You can have a look on this. This is a DB context class. And here you have the department class generated. And here we have employee class generated. What I highlighted to you is the navigation properties. Employees, collection, department. And generating methods and views. We are provided with an option of generating the required controllers, action methods, and views by using scaffolding. And to do that, first build the project. Don't forget to build the project. The code should be compiled first. And then right click on the controllers folder and select add controller. You know this option already, which opens add new scaffolded item window. In that window, choose MVC5 controller with views using entity framework and click on add button. Click on the add button, which opens add controller window. Now in that window, select model class as employee. Remember now I selected all these things. Model class as employee. Next, data context class as, what is our data context class name? MVCDB entities. And the bottom, yeah, I forgot to show you this only, guys. I forgot to show you that option only. In the bottom, it will display a name to the controller. It will display a name to the controller. And what is the name it will show you? Employees controller, not employee controller. Employees controller. I forgot to change that. That's why we got it as employees controller. Either leave the same or change to employee controller. And click on add button. Click on the add button, which will generate a controller with all the required action methods and corresponding views to perform CRUD operations. Run the project and watch the behavior of the whole applications to perform CRUD operations. You just run the project and just try to perform all the CRUD operations here. In this, We did not even write one single character of code also. Yes or not? Not even single character I used. I used only, why did I, if I type anything means, I typed only the name of the context, that's all. Other than that, I did not type anything at all. Array, DBML file name, just EF, that's all. Remaining all are auto-generated with the help of the wizard. The wizard has generated me everything to me as expected or as required. Okay, so this is all exactly what is going to happen if at all you just use the data context class. Sorry, if at all you're just trying to use the NT framework. If at all you use the NT framework, that's what it generates. Shall we do all these things on our own now? What own? View creations. Are we done in link na? What is that? Defining the controller class, creating the views, action methods, all these things. Shall we do on our own now? Yeah, let's try performing everything on our own now in a new project without using scaffolding, how to write the code. I already explained it for you in case of your link to SQL. We are going to use it in the same. In stable DB first approach in application. What is it? Stable, I don't understand this first. In stable DB first approach application, if we perform DBDL operations on database side, how we can retrieve? How we can retrieve? It has all the code in it now. I don't have DB access. I want to add one property in employees CS department.cs. Can I add in the DB first? No, you cannot add. You cannot add. You cannot do that. You cannot add. You can add in the DB database, not in the application. You need to add in the database and update your models. So the question is, listen guys, what is this question? You know, the question is very valid question. So tomorrow, if I add a new properties in new columns in my table, how do I get these changes here? How do I get these changes here? Right click. Right click. Are you clear? Update model from database. The update model from database is going to update you the things automatically. Clearer or not? Suppose if you want to add a table, new table, then also same option. You want to add a new table, then click on this option, update model from database. Again, it opens the window to you. Again, it is going to open the window to you. Okay, and see here, add option is there, refresh option is there. What is this refresh option? The refresh option is to refresh your things. Refresh means in the employee table, new column is added, then you will get it in the refresh. Add means new. Existing, refresh. I want to delete, use delete option. Are you clearer or not? So use the delete option. So you can just use the appropriate. For adding, see, I'm adding a student. Refresh, nothing is coming. Why? No changes, nothing is coming. If changes are there, it has to show you the tables in this particular place. Okay, it is showing you, but there is nothing. If I select this and click on finish button, it will try to update the things now. Now, right now, no changes are there. So even I just use it also, there is no importance for the appropriate thing. Are you guys clear? So that is how you can just update the things. Understood? Someone asked this. Sai Kumar, are you clear? Database side DDL operations, yeah, that only I said you. Database side DDL operation. Okay, fine. That's how you can update your things going forward. Otherwise, continuous changes will come in the database here. Suddenly, client will ask a new feature. For a new feature, I may add a new column. If changes doesn't reflect here, my whole thing is useless now. Again, I cannot start the development from the first now. Update option is automatically available to you. But in link to SQL, what the option is? Delete it, drag and drop again. But here just only update. We can just go for using the update option. Wait, Vishal. Like validations on the class, if I can use database model, the validations in the class will get lost. If I give validations and class, are you defining the class, Nani? Again, you're telling I'll define the validations on the class now. Are you defining the class? First answer that question. Answer fast. Are you defining the class here or the class is generated? Then why you're telling you will define validations on the class then? When the class is generated, how are you going to give the validations? You can't do anything now. I want to do that. That is code first. Don't combine or code the two things. Here, you need to use it as it is. What NT framework generated, you need to use it. That's all. You don't have any chance to make the modifications to the code now. I cannot change the context classes or I cannot change the model classes. I can't change anything at all. I don't have any choice. For that reason only, knows that I want all this in. For that reason only, what they given us? Code first. Whatever you want, you do in code first. But DB first means you cannot do anything what is presented. This is disconnected architecture. Already I said you Vivo. Last class I already said that. Last class at DB first today. Remember exactly I said you all these are disconnected architectures. All these are going to be disconnected architectures like our ADO.NET disconnected architecture, not a connection oriented architecture. Okay, let us no, you cannot use. You want to use them? That is code first. We'll focus on the code first. Hold on. Let's do one more project, guys. In the new project, what I'm going to create, I want to design these controllers and all these things manually. I want to go for using all these things manually now. So without using scaffolding, I just want the generation to be done manually in that particular case. Is my point clear? So let's do that. I'll give the name as DBF2. I given the name as DBF1 there. Now I'm giving the name as DBF2. NT framework, database first. Second example is what I'm showing. Now we'll write all the code on our own, and this code will be same like writing the code in our link to SQL. Writing the code in our link to SQL. Okay. Observe. New project. ASP.NET web application. MVC with EF DBF2. MVC7. Click on the create button. The configuration, same process again. Okay. Now go to models folder. Add what? New item. Select data. ADO.NET NT model. And here I said you any name you like, no props. I'm giving the name as testEF. EF designer from database. Click next. Now new connection. Server. SQL authentication. SA 123. MVC DB. Click on OK. Yes, include. Guys, if you want, you can change this name here. I'm not changing. Option is there. Text box is given me. The option is given for changing. That's all. Click on the next button. NT Framework 6.0. Retrieving database information. Please wait. Yeah, retrieved. Selecting the same two tables again. Department table, employee table. Click on finish. Okay. What next? First, build your project once. Don't forget this one. Build your project. Again, when you start working with controllers, when you add a controller, the error will come again. That's what I'm telling you first only. Build your project. Otherwise, you will get an error. Again, you'll be confused. If you get that error, what the meaning is you did not compile the project. Clearer. So build it. Now right click on the controllers and controller. I am using a normal MVC5 controller. Let me name it as employee controller. Click on the add button. Yeah. I want to follow my standards. How did I written in my NT framework? I want to follow all my standards as it is. Sorry, linked to skill, what I followed, I want to do the same thing. First, I am creating the instance of the, which one? MVCDB entities now, context class. That's in general I'm talking. Create the instance of the context class. Context class name is MVCDB entities. MVCDB. Oh, we did not import the model namespace. Is always mandatory. Yeah? MVC with DBF 2 dot models, because everything is in the models folder. Models namespace should be imported always. MVCDB entities. TC is equals to new. Class name change already we discussed. It is not data context now. It is going to be entities. Okay. First method. Public view result display employees. Public view result display employee int employee ID. Remember the two? Now here, you have a doubt here. Sir, you don't have procedures. Is it not necessary to write the DAL class? Is it not necessary to write the DAL class? No need, guys. Watch. Where employees or EMPS is equals to, okay, DC dot employees is a DB set, right? It will provide you the complete list for you. Simply call. It's ready. Sir, what about department? Last class, we recollect we defined our own class called EMP DEPT. And again, we just written all the code to fetch the data from the two tables using a join, add it, send it the list. Nothing required. Why not required? Because this employees already has a navigation property called department. With that department, you can access the data from the department table now. So there is no need of defining a new class again. So dc.employees.toList will provide access to all the records there, all the records. Sir, I want only active records. I don't want inactive records. Okay, no? No props here. There's a direct method called where here, and you can write a condition there. E, lambda expression, E dot status is equals to true. They made the things very simple and easy for you. Directly dc.employees refers to your DB set. Dot where condition, write the where clause. Afterwards, to list. It will convert into list. Even you don't convert into list also no problem, because you are using IEnumerable there. And I already said you IEnumerable is capable of holding any type of list. Don't need a conversion at all. Just to only to tell you, array, this option is available, I'm telling you, but there is no point of converting into list at all. If you want, I'll just remove that also. No need of conversion at all. It is capable of holding, because IEnumerable holds anything in that. And simply say return view EMPS. Done. Okay. What next? You want single record, right? Right? Okay then. Guys, watch. Where EMP is equals to DC dot employees dot find. There is a find method. Do you remember we learned about the find method in ADV.NET also? It searches the data based on the primary key column of the table. You can simply pass the primary key value. Employee ID is the primary key value. Enough here. What it fetches? Single record. Check it out. Put your mouse on the find. See the return type. What shows first is the return type? Employee is the return type. So where EMP is equals to return view. Done here. That's all. This is why I am not again writing the DAL code. The DAL class not required. Did you catch my point or not? Why do you write the DAL class? There we return the logic for converting into list, send a list, all these things. But yes, straight away you will get off all the values. You are not at all required to do any of this list conversions or anything. Very simple code. Simply you can call dc.employees. If you want to get all the records, any conditions, you can use the where clause. You want a single record? Find method. This will set you the data based on primary key. And you already know employee ID is the primary key. Let's add a view for display employees. Right click, add view. Select a model, empty. Or the model, employee. Click on the add button and simply change this to I. When you're typing here, it takes a little bit time to load. Don't be confused. When you type I enumerable not coming, sir, it just takes a little bit time to load the things. Until the errors are removed there. Have you noticed that when you add a view, by default errors will come? It takes a little bit time to resolve the errors. Okay, until the errors are resolved, you will not get that I enumerable. Yeah, now you got it. See, earlier I did not get it. Errors are there. Once the errors are resolved, automatically you'll get it. Okay, don't be confused with it. Okay, I enumerable. Fine. And now create the view. Okay. Yeah, first my header, always I'm doing this header. Next, I want a table. The first row is header row. In the header row, what do you want? ID, name, job, salary, department ID, department name, location also. Remember that point. Actions. For view, edit, delete. Guys, watch it. E.ID, name, job, salary, status, department ID. You are clear with these 6? E.ID, E.name, E.job, E.salary, E.status. All these are the columns of employee table only. Now see the last two. E.department. What is department? The navigation property present in the employee. Dot. E.name. E.department dot location. Then if this option is available, what is the point of writing a class again with all the 2 attributes now? Not required. Is that clear? Next. The for each loop and displaying you all the records. Yeah, guys, have a look. Again, the same story. For each loop. And here again the same. Employee.department name. Employee.department location. And for display employees and all, I'm passing the employee ID as an attribute. All are same. Delete, I did not have a confirmation here. Why? I am planning to do in the same way what it done. Launch a view, click delete, will delete the things. I'm planning like that. Okay. Run this. It has to show you all the employees. Thing is, it will be much more better than what Entity Framework has designed. A table, all required columns, everything will come for us. Got it. I just have 200% resolution here. Zooming is 200%. Actually, this is the original size. That is the actual size. I am just using zoom there. Okay. So we designed it much better. Add new employee, view, edit, delete, everything coming now. Edit, view should show you single employee. You know that code. I don't require to tell you about the view. Is that clear? Okay, edit. Today, anything if you're going to see newly, that is delete view. That's all. Are we clear? We'll do it in the next session. Yeah, we'll complete in the next session. Let's stop here. We'll meet tomorrow. Avaish, if this is not pinned, is it floating like this? Avaish, is it floating like this? Yes, Likita, you can use Windows authentication also, no problem. It is floating, simple. See, catch hold of it with the mouse, catch hold of it with the mouse, drag it to the left hand side corner, you will find a pin icon like this. Can you see that? Leave it on that, that's all. And afterwards, use the pin option on the top, auto hide. That's it. Enable database.
పెట్టలేదు కదా. ఆటో జనరేషన్ ఉన్నప్పుడు మళ్ళీ ఎందుకు పెట్టుకున్నారు? ఆటో జనరేషన్ ఉన్నప్పుడు దాన్ని పెట్టకూడదు కదా. నేను పెట్టి ఏమవుతుందంటే మీరు వాల్యూ పంపిస్తే తీసుకుంటారు. కదా ప్యాకేజింగ్ కదా ఆప్షన్స్. స్టూడెంట్స్ స్టూడెంట్ అవునా? ఇది స్టూడెంట్స్ మనం ఎస్ఐడి పాస్ చేస్తాం. కంట్రోలర్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఐడి కార్డ్ తీసుకోవాలి అక్కడ. ఎప్పుడు ఐడెంటిటీ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు డిలీట్ కొట్టకూడదు. ట్రంకేట్ కొట్టాలి. డిలీట్ కొట్టి ఏమవుతుందంటే మీరు ఒక 5 రికార్డులు ఇన్సర్ట్ చేసి డిలీట్ అన్నాం అనుకోండి 106 నుంచి జనరేట్ చేస్తాం. 101కి వెళ్ళమండి. ట్రంకేట్ అంటే ఐడెంటిటీ రీసెట్ చేస్తాం. వస్తుంది ఐడెంటిటీ